As the Wall Street Journal alluded to, you know what you could have done to alleviate this? Since you want to take the Trump administration to court and say that he had no business federalizing the National Guard, you could have called the National Guard. You could have made sure that law enforcement throughout the city of Los Angeles had a very strong, vibrant, conspicuous.
Stephen A. Smith just turned California into a crime scene, and Gavin Newsom is the prime suspect. You thought Stephen A. reserved the shouting for LeBron hot takes. Not today. This time, the flamethrower was aimed at hair gel, hypocrisy, and whatever's left of Newsom's political swagger. Why's the king of sports talk unloading on a governor? What sparked this verbal detonation? Grab the popcorn. This isn't politics, it's pay-per-view with a Stephen A. twist.
It might have alleviated the possibility of him calling in, meaning Trump calling in the National Guards and the Marines. You could have done that, but you didn't. And because you didn't, you gave him the opening to do it. Because it makes you look like you're weak on crime, you're weak on lawlessness, you're weak on borders. All the things that got him elected, you're playing into it.
It started with a sizzle, the kind only Stephen A. Smith can bring. But this wasn't about NBA refs or Kyrie Irving's mood swings. Nope, this time, the slick-haired monarch of the Golden State himself, Gavin Newsom, was in the crosshairs. And if California was already burning metaphorically, Stephen A. just poured premium-grade rocket fuel on the flames.
My personal belief is that the political career of Gavin Newsom is in peril, if not flat out over. His presidential aspirations have been eviscerated. There is no way he overcomes this. No way. And in regards to Karen Bass, to say nothing, you can come and speak out, but that video will live in infamy. You had absolutely.
Why'd Newsom get the same treatment Stephen A. usually reserves for botched trades? Simple, he's been selling California as the land of freedom while people are fleeing like it's the Titanic, and Newsom is the iceberg.
Why the hell are you playing right into the hands of Donald Trump? Because I got news for you. On this particular issue, as it involves migrants, immigrants, those who are undocumented, dare we say illegal, in the United States of America, he's winning on this issue. There's a reason he won a popular vote. There's a reason he won the Electoral College vote. There's a reason he won every swing state. There are people within the United States of America that want our immigration crisis addressed and want the situation resolved somehow.
Stephen A. looked around, saw Newsom on a press tour pitching California like it's Disneyland, and thought, this ain't it, Chief. California isn't the Magic Kingdom. It's a $5,000 a month haunted house with bad plumbing, high taxes, and a suspicious smell coming from the sidewalk.
Flying all the way from Ghana, about a 15-hour flight to Los Angeles, and you're telling me you couldn't answer a reporter's question? No comment, we'll talk later, well, let me huddle with my staff and we'll get back to you. You couldn't even think to say that? Nobody on your staff prepared you for what has been transpiring in California? Nobody gave you a warning, a heads up? You didn't have anything to say?
The governor calls it a freedom state, but the toothpaste is under lock and key. Walgreens looks like a Cold War bunker. You're free to step over a tent city on your way to an $8 gallon of gas so you can drive 2 hours to a job at a startup that just got bought by Google and shut down. And Stephen A. didn't just disagree, he erupted. Full Yellowstone caldera-level explosion. Remember French Laundry? While Californians were locked down tighter than a Costco liquor cabinet, there was Newsom, sipping wine with lobbyists like Caesar at a Roman feast. Grandma couldn't go to church, but Gavin could nibble foie gras under a chandelier.
I'd like to know why you didn't take Donald Trump up on that offer, or Gavin Newsom up on his offer, and arrest the governor of California at that particular moment in time. Is that just, I mean, normally when we've seen you, you said you wouldn't hesitate to arrest an elected official. He was daring you to do it. How come that didn't happen?
Well, first of all, I'm not a prosecutor. That's up to the Department of Justice. That they need to open a criminal case and prosecute. But I was really taken out of context because I did an interview in LA.
That's California's trademark double standard, and Stephen A. called it out hotter than a Lakers fan after a fourth-quarter collapse. Newsom struts like a man auditioning for president but can't stop CVS from looking like a post-apocalyptic flea market. You can't just squint at a camera and expect homelessness to vanish. California has 30% of the nation's homeless population. That's not a talking point, it's an indictment.
I like Gavin Newsom. I think the brother looks the part. He looks presidential in them damn blue suits, no doubt about it. He's sharp as a tack. He's smart as hell. But on far too many occasions, when he was spewing out facts, it was rife with emotion. Instead of addressing the facts that the right was throwing in his direction to debunk anything that he had to say. But we forgot to mention that to Bill Maher on Real Time. This is the kind of problem that exists.
And the red state jabs. Sure, Newsom loves dunking on Florida and Texas, but California's population chart looks like a ski slope. People are packing their Teslas for Texas, not because they love cowboy hats, but because they'd rather battle humidity than rolling blackouts and sky-high rent.
You talked about the right, when you talked about conservatives, when you talked about conservative folks out there and what their principles were and how they may not have been for transgender athletes competing in sports, how they may not have been for, for open borders, how they may not have been for sanctuary cities. Didn't you question their humanity in a roundabout way at the very least? Weren't you one of the voice boxes out there saying that stuff? Now, I like
Stephen A. saw through it. A guy trying to win a national popularity contest while his own house is on fire, literally and figuratively. Fires, fentanyl, blackouts, crime, businesses fleeing. But sure, let's go debate Ron DeSantis on Fox News. Californians are asking, hey, you ever gonna come home and do your job?
I would definitely be big time when it comes to addressing crime in the streets.
Okay, good.
No, the subway
Good.
system in New York City, you're damn right I got a problem with that. Something needs to be. I'm a native of New York City.
Yeah.
I took the F and the E train all the time. I wouldn't want my family traveling on the subway right
Same
now.
with me, not
what
anymore.
I'm saying.
Do you take the subway anymore? I feel like you don't.
Well, I don't.
You don't.
I don't. But that's only because when you get popular and stuff like that,
You're
you try to avoid crowds.
You're
But
too popular to take the subway.
I was in LA. The homelessness that exists there, I got an issue with that. Certainly, when you look at Gavin Newsom and some of the policies that he's put forth, you're talking about a lot of different things that need to be addressed.
Stephen A. became the voice of every Californian who's ever looked at their tax bill, then at the pothole in front of their house, and wondered, what exactly am I paying for? He torched the state's contradictions, banning plastic straws but handing out free needles, preaching affordability while driving out the middle class, lecturing on climate while the power grid sputters like a dying flashlight.
Newsom in tears. I retweeted it, so if you have it, great. It's easier. There
Did
you
he
go.
actually cry, man?
Oh, you should see this here. If this is the clip on Anderson Cooper, Rob.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and play this clip.
I hate to even ask this question, but the president-elect chose to attack you, blame you for this.
One can't even respond to it. I mean, it's people are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives.
Why, though?
Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't. I stood next to a president of the United States of America today, and I was proud to be with Joe Biden.
And the schools, oh, the schools. California has one of the highest tax burdens in the country, yet kids are vibing their way to graduation. Stephen A. compared it to paying for courtside seats and finding out you're watching a JV team with no coach and no basketball.
Newsom criticized the party and implored fellow Democrats to take accountability for their losses and called the party's current brand, quote, toxic, end quote. Newsom appeared on Real Time with Bill Maher and said the following, quote, Democrats, we tend to be a little more judgmental than we should be. We need to own our mistakes. We need to own what's wrong with our party. Part of the problem with the Democratic brand is that we talk down to people. We talk past people, end quote. Newsom recently launched a new podcast called, quote, This is Gavin Newsom.
When he barked, we're tired of the BS, America didn't flinch, they cheered. Memes exploded. Stephen A. just gave Gavin the LeBron treatment. One viral post read, with a photoshopped UFC poster, Newsom versus Smith, hair gel versus hairline. The left squirmed, the right grabbed popcorn, and independents hit refresh like it was the Super Bowl halftime show.
I don't even know what to say anymore about these elected officials in California.
In California, you pay a lot of taxes.
Hell yes. And by the way, they're the ones that put Gavin Newsom and people like Karen Bass in office. So now you realize you have Democrats who helped put them in office, clamoring for Donald Trump to be back in office. You realize that?
And here's the kicker. Stephen A. doesn't need to run for office. He's not chasing donors or pandering to focus groups. He just says it, loudly, relentlessly, and, in this case, truthfully. Maybe that's what California needs, not another Patagonia-vest politician selling trust the process, but someone to stand up, wave their arms, and yell, "The emperor has no clothes and no clue."
California governor hosted conservative guests like Charlie Kirk and the aforementioned Steve Bannon. Newsom also found common ground with the right on the issue of transgender athletes competing in women's sports. He called these athletes' participation, quote, deeply unfair, end quote. Bravo. Bravo. I mean, bravo. I'm so very touched, Gavin Newsom, governor of California, that you would say that. Why didn't you add that you were the one doing it? Because that's exactly what the hell you were doing.
While Gavin Newsom polishes his image and plots his next debate tour, California's still choking on blackouts, break-ins, and broken promises. And thanks to Stephen A. Smith, the volume on that reality just got cranked all the way up. So next time Newsom steps on a national stage with that rehearsed smirk, remember, Stephen A. already cooked him. And the leftovers are still sizzling.